countdown. We're good there.
What? My countdown is gone?
Hey, guess what? Are you tired of creating alone? Well, so are we. You know what? We'll start that over.
Why are we starting over?
Because I messed it up. Here we go.
Okay.
Are you tired of being awesome alone? Well, so are we. So it's time to stop, collaborate, and listen. We're going to go be awesome together tonight. We are coming hot off of a great weekend at Conjuration, where not only did we do a bunch of separate panels and a lot of fun stuff and saw a lot of cool people, we did the first ever Be Awesome Together workshop where you got possibly future partner Bob Magoo, Tyra, and myself taking direct questions from creators and giving direct answers and tips and tools and everything else that we could do.
We were spilling all the beans.
It's like if Shark Tank had a workshop. We weren't just listening to your pitch.
That's right.
We really were, and the people that came, it really felt like it did a lot for them, and that was amazing.
Yeah.
And we had already planned this show before we even went to that con, but it's nice that it's coming right off the heels of collaborating together to do something fun. And then I also got a caffeination from Miss Tyra.
I know.
That will go out at some point. I don't want to promise dates. I don't know, but it will absolutely go out at some point.
I understand that. Don't under promise, over deliver.
Yeah.
Be Bob.
Yeah.
That's
he
Bob's
always
thing.
Under promises, and most of the time he delivers.
Oh, yeah. You're so bad.
Oh, you missed the bad. I got to
What'd you do?
Be on his cryptid he writes some RPG games himself.
I know, and I want to play one with him. Darn it.
Earth Station Boo is recording, and we're in the background while she's recording. So
we love you.
You know what? You should be like one of those TV stations, Boo, and put the monitor behind you so you just see us talking as you're recording. So there's a window in the window. I don't know. I'm dumb. But no, so I there's just something about Bob that he has this chaotic energy that works with my chaotic energy. And I don't think, let me be serious and role play some character. I think, how far off the rails can we get?
Oh, Lord.
And so the cryptid core, there's sheets, pre-printed sheets of what the characters were, and you got to pick. And Joe, Captain Artism himself, saw the quiet skeptic. He's, oh, did you mean that over Charles? He said that joke at least 3 times in 2 minutes as we were flipping through the sheets. I'm like, Joe, we heard you the first 15 times, man. We got it. You think I'm loud. It's funny. Okay, move on. I ended up taking, I didn't really read the character. I saw sassy sassy scientist or something like that. And like, or not sassy, sarcastic. I was like, oh yeah, I'll just take that one. And then I realized I'm playing a female character. So I tried my best, within like 30 seconds of figuring, without being able to try voices, just, all right, I'll do what I can. And it was so bad, it killed. Like Ben was sitting next to me, he lost his crap. Like this, he told Boz, like, this is what you get for not filtering what he could pick from. and so that was the first night, and it was so much
hold
fun.
it. What was the voice? Come on.
Oh, I don't hardly remember it. I can't even do it. I'm Dr. Rachel Holloway, and I'm a sarcastic scientist. Girl, you better watch out. I did that.
Oh my.
I did
okay. Anyway, on day 2, what happened? Or yes, day 2.
And so I got to do that with Hollis, so that was fun. Hollis has got a very violent streak. She's funny.
Oh,
Joe played an old man, and that's his soul. And Ben was fun. And then day 2, or night 2 really, with Bob, we did Everybody is John. And I already kind of told you that story. It's literally one sheet is the instructions and everything you need to know. And the basics are, you have something to represent 7 points, and Bob has a huge bag of dice, so we all had dice, but it's just points to wager. And you get 1 6-sided die. And there's one character in the game, and it's John. And all of us playing, which was Joe, myself, and Ben Meeks, all of us, we are personalities of John trying to take over. And part of the rules is you have to write down 2 skills and 1 obsession. But you don't share the obsession. That's the game. You, as the personality in control, you're trying to achieve your obsession. And if your other personalities figure out what it is, they can kind of try to shut it down. My obsession was hearing myself talk. And it's a real life kind of effect. And I asked, like, does it only work when I'm in charge? He's like, no, if you achieve it. And one of the examples he gave was he ran this game before, and a guy, his obsession was getting people to look at him funny. So every time he'd do something weird and Bob would look at him quizzically, he'd mark down a point. And that's what inspired me to go for hearing myself talk. And I ended up starting a cult, the cult of the Possum Christ. And that's a whole nother long story. But it was very Dragon Con after dark, if you will. And I had so much fun, and it seemed like everybody else had fun. And that was it. It was, there were no rails. There were no more rails. We left the train station way behind on that game.
The train left, and we just don't know where it went. So I'm going to type, drop in Bob's game design place on there.
Bearded Bard, I believe. But
yes.
I'm obsessed with Be Awesome Together, says Station Boo.
We love you, Boo, so much. And you're going to come on the show. I'll DM you. I promise.
I mean, I would have thought our Station Boo would love Conjuration.
Yes, if she lived closer.
How
you would have liked
is she
Conjuration.
Not Georgia? I thought she was Georgia.
Nah, she's in a state below us, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Well, any other state. Maybe, I mean, Alabama, edges of Alabama and Tennessee are close, but yeah.
But I will say Conjuration was good. They have Stellar Fest in the spring, and that one is sci-fi kind of based, so more Doctor Who kind of stuff will be there, Star Wars, Star Trek, and then what else do we love? There's a lot of them. We'll start talking more about the cons we're going to. February is crazy. There's a lot of cons in February.
Well, I've got my first one to announce now.
Yes.
Joe and I will be at not Conjuration. Holy crap. I had so much fun at Conjuration. I really did. I mean, I was thinking Conjuration could do an anime con in the summer, and that would be great. But Con Nuga in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It is at the Civic Center, and I applied today, and they accepted immediately. And I'm in talks with them of exactly what we're going to do. And we're going to do Wise and Nerdy, and then they're taking the Fandom Face Off show. And then, of course, we're going to figure out some other panels and how to bring some other good content in for them. And, it's something that Joe and I have talked about forever. We almost always wait until my son's peeking through the window. It's just a shadow, because there's a light behind him, so it's just this weird shadow in the window. Anyway, we always miss Cottanooga because December 1st is the deadline for submissions, and usually it's around December 10th or so. Second, third weekend of December, we're like, you know what? Or even the last week of December, let's look at 2026 and see what we're going to do. We always, we missed the deadline. So Joe's kind of stayed on that for us this year.
Oh, that's good.
And it's going to be great.
Could he stay on that for us too, please?
Yeah, well, you can't go to Cottanooga. So
I can't go now. I got to.
That would have been one.
I'll be at the KSU doing important things.
And are we doing Alcon this year?
Yes, we are. Matter of fact, our first meeting for Geek Week for KSU is in December. Well, we'll be figuring out all the things. But yes, there will be an Alcon. We will figure it out. We will definitely be, I hope, bringing Fandom Face Off because that was funny.
Man, and that was my bet. That was my Dragon Con was a huge show, and by far, as a production level, my best show. But the most exciting show I ever had was at OwlCon. Just this room full of college kids, because they don't know the word restraint, and they are like almost literally bouncing off the walls. I mean, you would have thought you were a toddler kicking a soccer goal at a Major League Soccer game. The crowd just went nuts on all the questions, and it's just the energy was awesome.
They are awesome. Plus, as you said, not a lot of filters. It's after you got them in the room. I love how you got them in the room.
I just for everybody who's just tuning in for that, and we're gonna move on to shelf watch and everything else. But or actually, I want to hear what you did love from Conjuration. But there was only one or two there in the room, and in most cons, you just kind of wait and people filter in. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do the dad thing. So I just walked out into the atrium where pretty much everybody was hanging out, and just yelled, "Fandom Face Off, the best game show you never want to miss. It's starting now. Get your butts in the room." And I turned around, and they followed. They came in, and I mean, I think about 10 or 15 came in, and really quickly, they were like texting friends, and it was so whoever helped manage that hallway, because there's people around, volunteers. Man, they came in after like, holy cow. That was we could hear you throughout pretty much the entirety of the building. It sounded like you had fun. I was like, oh, it was the best. So there's awesome. Devo. Speaking of children getting their butts in the room.
Side. We were talking about you earlier. Were your ears burning? That's what my mother would have asked back in the day.
Yeah. No, he has got clean underwear. He's good. So what did you personally love about Conjuration?
Oh, well, first off, I love a good relaxicon. Not going to lie. Also love the fact the elevator, we did not get stuck in it this time. Also bonus points because after the last time, I rode the elevator down with the gentleman who misbehaved.
Oh, he's a con goer.
He's a con goer, and he was there, and we rode the same elevator down together. And he was saying, "Oh yeah, there was that jerk in the elevator with us who was so being." And I'm looking at him like, dude, I know that was you. Just so we're clear here.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was fun. No elevator things. They're upgrading the hotel. It got bought. So that was nice. A little bit nicer furniture, though. I will say that if any time you think about putting in lights underneath something that are going to come on when somebody walks by them or there's movement, put an off switch.
I have a better solution for them.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't put it in lights. And sell little night lights in your store shop. My wife and I travel with night lights. We just need something in the bath. There's enough. We like blackout. So there's enough little ambient light that I'm not going to hit the bed, or I can pull up my phone and use that if I need to. And we put just this tiniest little night light in the bathroom so we can not have the full light on. We don't need you to have fancy beds that won't turn off.
No. The bathroom one was fine. Like, I really kind of liked it because when I walked in the bathroom, this underlight came on so I could see. Awesome. The all-night lighting underneath my bed for the first night definitely gets a down vote. But as far as Conjuration itself, it was lovely seeing so many people that I know. We got some cool stuff at the dealer's room. And seeing a lot of authors that I really am friends with. And I really had a good time I did a panel on cozy fantasy. And it was packed. And Charles came to that one. But I really enjoyed doing that. That was a lot of fun.
Joe was on that one with you, yeah.
Joe was on that one with me. And so that was kind of... It was really good. Our marketing panel, we wish we had more people. But we were 7 o'clock on a Saturday night, so... Yeah, you know how that goes. But yeah, no, I had a good time. I'm looking forward to Stellarfest and trying to find a couple of other cons to do, maybe. Got to see if we're supposed to go to Gallifrey out in LA in February, so we'll see how that shakes out.
Well, it was a blast all around. I did do Fandom Face Off there. We had 5 or 6 players.
Oh, we did have fun.
Yeah, that was, as long as somebody shows up, it's always fun. And that was... Blast got some more inspiration of how to do different things there. So my newsletter is going to be basically my world, and Fandom Face Off is going to be the front of it because it's going to be, here's clips from the different things. Here's this question: what choice would you pick? Each month, those kind of things, and let people also submit their own answers and different things, and just kind of crowdsource it a little bit. And so I finally got inspired, and then we found a new way to send out a newsletter, so we're going to check that out. We did.
I've checked out. It's called Send Fox. We learned about it from Richard, whose last name Pierce. He's a writer.
He's
Fierce,
a fighter.
Okay, Richard Fierce. He writes YA novels, but so knowledgeable in terms of marketing. But he told us about Send Fox, And it's a newsletter program that is a one-time fee. It also has a free version. I'm actually going to start off with the free version, but the lifetime use it is $49,
Mm-hmm.
and it gets you up to a certain number of subscribers,
5,000.
5,000, and you can do. Richard was explaining that they'd have like events where you could like post on Instagram and get 1,000 more. So he's still not paying for
Yeah.
his. He's just paying that $49. So I'm going to try the free version out, and then move to the $49 one if it works like I think it's going to. And I'm very excited because dear sweet Bob got me set up on the one that he's been using at Meller Lite, and then they changed. Of course, our favorite thing.
Yeah.
They changed.
Yep.
Matter of fact, as soon as we get off tonight, I've got to go deal with StreamYard because they're going to try to charge me $50, and I'm going to tell them no, and then they'll give me a discount, and we'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm really sick and tired of that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's unfortunately sometimes that's how the way the world works, and that's rough. And it's to a point everything changes, but the whole we just jumped on board. I have the same issue with Spotify. I was just recommended this weekend if you want to start it, and I still would for free. If you want to start out for free, you start there, but I'm about to start paying for a host for Wise and Nerdy because we use royalty-free music in our show, and Spotify algorithm has nailed it. And the first time they gave us a chance to, well, first they still deleted the episodes. Like, you haven't responded to our communication. Like, you haven't sent me any communication. This is the first thing you sent me. And now you've already deleted it. What the hell, man? And then somebody on the other side, a human, did write back and say, okay, just send us show us that you have an agreement to use it or something. And I went and took screenshots where it clearly states royalty-free music. One of the guys actually has a Patreon that says, you're supporting me because my goal is to give more free music that is royalty-free and commercial-free that you cannot charge for into this world. Nothing. I had to go re-download from YouTube and edit the music out, re-upload 4 episodes today that Spotify just killed. Like, they deleted it. It does not exist. They didn't mute it. They didn't draft it and give me a chance to edit it. They just took it down.
Did they also take it down? Like, does that stream feed Amazon
Yep,
and Apple?
that stream feeds everything. So that's why I'm telling you, if you even think you're in it close to some kind of music. Now, they didn't kill my whole show, right? Just that episode. But it is frustrating because I did what I was supposed to. It's royalty free. And I even asked them both, because 2 different people responded to me. How would I get a license for this? Much less why, when it's free and it's royalty free. So yes, things change, they become negative. But as humans and creators, that gets us to grow. And sometimes that change is we get tired of working by ourselves. But I keep trying to get into the show because I'm excited about it. But I forget, what is on your shelf watch?
Oh,
Tyra, shelf watch.
I'm in the dining room. Nice to see you. What's on my shelf? Well, I will tell you that getting sick, I slowed down a lot and have been trying to take things a little easier. So we've been working on getting different parts of the house back to where they should be, because sadly, when you get sick, things just fall by the wayside because your partner is doing the best they can, but they can't do everything. And so we're trying to get through that by this weekend. And then we both have next week off.
Oh.
So
Wait,
I'm very
is that
excited.
Thanksgiving? Are we already at Thanksgiving
Next week, I know it. We're almost at Thanksgiving. It's frightening.
Oh,
I know. That's what
okay.
my students should be saying. So we have next week, both of us have it off. So I'm hopeful that we're going to be able to get either a lot of things done that have to be done before my office, or at least maybe I'll be able to get in my office and get things cleaned up so that when he does have an opportunity, my shelf can go in and my storage units can be built.
Okay. That's a positive.
So I'm happy, but outside of that, it has been work, because it is, as I said, the week before Thanksgiving, we come back, there's 1 week of classes and then finals. So Tyra's trying to get all the things graded, wrap up all the things. And I also, after I did my Cozy Fantasy panel at Conjuration, I broke open my Cozy Fantasy because I've been kind of stuck. And I liked it. I really liked it. And I think I figured out how to get unstuck, because there was a plot point that I couldn't quite figure out. So I'm hoping to get some writing done next week. And I'm actually going to let my husband read it, which may be good for our marriage or bad. I haven't decided yet. I'll let you know. So that's my shelf.
Because it's easier to ignore him if you didn't like it somehow. But Joe is he likes Cozy Fantasy, and he's unfiltered on the feedback. So
yes, that's why I probably won't ask him.
He's not your alpha reader.
No. After it goes through some edits, maybe. But
well, I am. No, that's fair.
I need a gentle soul first.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. My shelf of watch, I just had it and I lost it for a second. I'm excited. I'm happy where my world is going. Like, it's in this very stressful transition phase of I keep feeling the need to push money forward, but I got a lot done today. Even though it wasn't on my docket to get done, I got 4 episodes of Wise and Nerdy re-edited and reloaded and published. I got a lot of video clips set up for the Ambulance Academy stuff. I did get one of my caffeinations put out from this weekend.
Yay, I saw it.
To everybody listening, I recorded, I think, 7 caffeinations with 7 different people. So one was a stranger, so that's going to be interesting.
Ooh.
And then I got a call from somebody about some possible opportunity to work with them and teach a little bit. And we'll see. They respect that I want my freedom and this and that and the other, but they're kind of talking about handing off the school to me and backing up. I was like, I don't know if I want to. I mean, it's not full-time school. It's basically CPR, however I'd want to work it.
Okay.
But I'm not sure what they have an idea of, but we'll see. There's definitely possibilities there. But yeah, I just came off the weekend. I came home Sunday, took a nap, Tyra. Took a nap. And then when Aaron did too, so when we got up, we went and ate some Thai food. It was great.
Nice. Yeah, we came home, watched football, got sad, and then went to bed.
I'm assuming they lost. Of course, you came home and watched football. I'm sorry you got sad.
It was sad. It was Travis Kelce is awesome, and he is a GOAT, and the rest of the team go run laps.
Well, you can't, that is the key sometimes. You can't be a superstar alone in some areas.
No.
I think, I mean, if I'd realized the term was coming in the future, I might have asked somebody to say, hey, instead of rock out of podcasting, let's go with the GOAT of podcasting. Let's do that. But of course, GOAT wasn't even a thing then.
True.
But you do have to have a team sometimes. Sometimes it is the people who support you with as goons fixing your website, or as tech. What names have been called? Tech wizards, tech goblins. Sometimes I like to have somebody to bounce off of, and talk to, because I get inspired by hearing ideas from other people. So we're going to talk about collaboration.
We are.
And we've been building towards this. And honestly, it was very well received by the 2 people. Of course, we already talked about Bob Magoo. And there's another one that we're approaching to be partners with us in this. And not just work on the show, which would be a part of what they would need to do, but to really bring education and content to all creators under the Be Awesome Together umbrella. And I roughed out, you and I have been talking for a while, collaborating already, right? We're already figuring some things out, and we still have things on our to-do list that we want to get to. But I took the rough idea before we went to the conference, because we're all going to try to sit down together. That is very difficult. We got 4 different creators, and 2 of them are also vendors. Schedules are hard.
When you said that, I was like, I love you.
I mean, for me, such a cozy con. I was like, surely like dinner.
No.
And dinner is ish. Well, I have not done anything super late before. Like, my panels have always been done by 6 there. So it's like, okay, we'll go to dinner and then whatever. But yeah, it's what. So I dumped everything into ChatGPT, and it's one of the days that actually took its Alzheimer's medication and its brain was right, because it's been hard to work with here lately, and it helped me build out the structure of what it could look like, and recommended money tiers and financial information and this and that and the other, and really gave a what would it take me forever to explain? Really, just summarized it well. And so I sat down with the guy on my Friday, and because his booth was early and empty, and he's getting it. He's starting to understand. We're gonna have more talks, of course. And then I sent it to you, sent it to Bob. Have you got a chance to even look at it?
I have not had any chance because I teach
You've
all
been
day
busy.
Monday.
Yeah.
And I can't find it.
I'll refund it and resend it to you.
Resend it because it's not on my Google Drive, which is weird.
No, it's a straight email somewhere.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, I didn't send you a document. I just pasted an email and sent it. So we've talked before about partnerships and this and that, but collaboration is different. I told Tyra when we were planning, or we were going through the notes today, I've always thought of everything I did as a partnership, and I've just learned time after time after time, most of it was a collaboration, and I wanted it to be more. Yeah. You know? And like, so how do you... Yeah.
Well, I think like what we're doing with BAT between the two of us is a partnership. And then we have to make some decisions with the people that are going to be contributing if those are collaborations or if they're also partners of the whole. And partners implies that there's some sort of decision making that everybody's participating in. Whereas with collaborations, it may just be somebody like me doing a caffeination with you at Conjuration. Quick and easy. You told me what you needed. I brought what you needed. We recorded it. We're done. So that's a quick and dirty collaboration that doesn't require me to have some like negotiation with you. You just say, hey, I'd love to have you on my thing. Here's what I need. I brought it. If it hadn't have been what you needed, you would have been like, oh, well, that's not exactly right, but let me see how I could work with it. Or you'd be like, come back when you get this because I'd really like to collaborate with you this way.
And it's funny that you mentioned it, because I know, to me, the term collaboration, just like everything else in society, gets muddied. There will be sponsorships that aren't sponsorships. We're collaborating with Taco Bell this week to talk about whatever.
That's a sponsorship.
Yeah, right. But that's what I want to really dive into. There is kind of a hybrid in my mind of how some bands work, where you had the two founding members of the band, and because they're the heart of it, they're the most important. But then they brought on somebody else later on. The first guitarist left or whatever. They brought in somebody else. Well, that person has some agency, but not as much as the founding members. And maybe they don't want to help really write the songs. Maybe the other two band members write the songs, and then they just add their part to it, you know?
Right.
That's a version of collaboration that's not full partnership, but also not just...
but there's going to be a legal document about that.
Oh, always. I think, other than, like you said, the caffeinations, you know, and at some point, if they get big enough, there will be a quick little, hey, before we do one, I need you to read this and sign this, just in case. But, you know, documentation is always good, I think. Yeah, I saw.
He is fat. He sent me a picture of Taco Bell at the end of a rainbow.
It's the best. I didn't play the song for you. There's a song I used on Wise and Nerdy 2 weeks ago. Some girl on the stage. All I want is Taco Bell, taco. And she does the whole thing. She's awesome. But coming out of Conjuration, what did we learn about live collaboration and on the moment collaboration there?
So I would say that if you're going to collaborate, like let's say you're doing a panel together where you're trying to accomplish something, and it's not just a panel where it's about a topic and people are coming to add their opinions. We probably should have had a hot moment and talked before we started the Be Awesome Together kind of workshop is what I'm going to call it. We probably should have had a moment and said, hey, this is kind of where we're going with these things. This is the type of questions we're trying to answer, blah, blah, blah. Small con, no need to do that. But if we did that at something bigger, or we did that with something where it was a paid workshop, we would definitely have had some better guidelines for all of us, I think.
Yeah, this is a test run to get these kind of things out into the open. Because there were even moments where, as we introduce ourselves, my specialty is digital media and production. Your specialty is marketing and some writing for sure. And I don't know how far you want to go into that, but, you know, when we just put up a placard, you know, and Bob's was, you know, authorship and whatnot. Bob jumped on a lot of the digital media stuff, and at
He
one point I was
did.
like, but then I'm learning from him. So I'm like, okay, this is exactly what's
Yeah.
a test run, because
Yeah, Bob knows his
I
stuff.
personally like a little chaos in the magic of going, because you never know what nuggets will come out. If there was something with authorship or writing that I really felt like I had something to say on, I would say it, even though it's technically not my
Right.
specialty, and that's how we flow. And every time he jumped on something, it is either, yeah, couldn't have said it better, or, and then, this also
Right.
type of deal. And
Sitting
even in some of the
between the-
marketing, he jumped on, and you're like,
Oh, yeah, no,
yeah, and then.
Sitting between the two of you,
It can be tough.
I'm short, and they're not, and then it's challenging. I'm just gonna say that. But
We need to get you like a little mini air horn so you can just.
I do, or
Yeah.
a cow prod. Can I have a cow prod?
No.
That sounds so much more fun.
No. I'm thinking maybe something related to Tinkerbell, but
I could get a wand and smack you.
yeah, maybe we'll do a nerf something.
Nerf, no.
No,
Sorry.
I don't need a fly swatter triggering me back to my childhood.
I'll just slap you.
Okay.
NCIS reference for anybody. Gib
But-
slapping.
All of us have our own personalities, and you definitely know when to jump in and take on something. And there's definitely times when somebody asks a question, we both would just turn and look at you and go, that's all you.
No, you did.
And it's going to take practice, because I know I'm used to just doing shows. I think Bob's used to kind of being on a panel and just spitting out his thing and then waiting his turn to come back around again. Whereas this is a whole different.
It's a different way of kind of.
Yeah. 'Cause I feel like we're all getting into this new era. When I say all, I mean the people who are riding with me, and because everything's becoming this hybrid of a new world. What would that look like? And you know how to put on a workshop. You've done it before. Bob's put on workshops. We've all done shows.
Yeah.
This is a hybrid of the two that is just kind of naturally coming together. I definitely, obviously, with kind of what we do here with the show notes and the formatting, we want to teach. This is education first, but education and entertainment have to be equally important in my world. And so, as much as I've taught classes, I'm sure there's probably something that's alluding to a workshop. I haven't taught a workshop directly, but I don't know if that's where we're going to go ultimately of teaching. I don't know. Who knows where we'll go?
We have
But
no clue.
There's going to be, like this con, a paid workshop would not work. Not until we're like all
Oh, no.
super famous and people are coming to that con just because we're there. Maybe then.
And I don't think that's really where they're at. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no. I mean, and so we're always going to need that hybrid to say, no, this is entertainment and education. And I did not know when I pitched this if we'd have, because Shatacon, we did some panel that you put on where Bob was on the end. It's the first time Bob was on one end, I was on the other, and you're in the middle.
Yep.
And there were 15 people in that room, and they all were wanting to ask their questions and get
Yep.
direct answers. So I'm like, well, you never know, because that's also a small con like Conjuration. And like, well, if there was 15 people, they're all getting 2 or 3 minutes. If there's 2 people, they'll get the whole time. And so I requested extra time, and we got it. And we filled it. We kept talking.
we did.
Because the
We
other guy
did.
came in late, and then we helped him out.
Well, and I did not look at the schedule and notice that we were there for an hour and 45 minutes. So I thank the gods and everybody that I had already done my prep for the panel I was running afterwards. Because I first thought that I could do it in between. And then the night before, I was like, no, I better go ahead and get
Instincts,
this
man.
done. So I did. And I will say one trick I'm going to share. This is totally non sequiturting. Is I did it in a Google Doc on my laptop, but I opened it on my phone. And sometimes Wi-Fi is janky in a panel room. So what I did was I took pictures of
Okay.
my document, and then I could go into my photos on my iPhone, and I could pull it up and scrub between them. So that ended up being like, I would definitely do that again.
Yeah, you could also download it to your phone, And I think on some phones you can even set it as access offline. So
You
you can still go to
can,
Google Docs, but yeah.
but it sometimes it does not.
Okay.
It does not work for me for some reason. I don't know why.
Now, part of where I was going to go next under Still Conjuration, how we prepared and what happened and overall impressions. Devo even jumps in here and says, personally, I often learn more listening to answers to others' questions.
It's true.
And even to that point, you made 2 notes. Well, because we use each other's text messages as notes at these cons when we're together. And so we made 2 notes on something that Bob said about registering domains and hosting your website. So, and Bob, I don't know what notes he took, but he said he'd even written down some notes from what we had been saying. And yeah.
Bob is very passionate about hating GoDaddy.
I'm with him on that.
Yeah, I can't.
I have used them to register some sites in the past, and I haven't pulled everything off of them. But yeah, the Bluehost is the devil. Bluehost makes you like Trump. I'm just saying, Bluehost is the worst. I cannot stress how bad Bluehost is. This show will never be brought to you by Bluehost or any parent company that owns them because I hate them.
Let's see. I was trying to find the one he suggested. Pork bun. Mm-hmm. I give it an A+ for a name, and then singer is where he hosts. But I have I like my hosting on Weebly, so
yeah,
it's easy. I can do it.
But overall impressions of the interaction with the audience and how we proceeded. How much did you prep for that?
0.
Yeah, same.
Because it's stuff I know.
Yeah.
If you don't know the questions coming at you, it's really hard to prep.
Yeah, I think you're right. We'll have a moment together on the next time around, which will probably be Stellar Fest in the spring.
Probably.
I think it's the next time all of us are in the same place. And we have time to talk through the holidays and get our old game plan together. But we'll just have a little touch base beforehand. And then perhaps an announcement in the beginning, like here's how the questions work. And we're going to try to bounce around. So we all like to talk. So please keep raise your hand from time to time, even if we hadn't got to you type of deal. I don't know. 'Cause I did feel bad about not wanting to cut us off from helping the guy, but I also wouldn't ask other people what they were looking for.
Right. Like I might need to get us a buzzer.
Okay. That's not a bad idea.
I'm sorry, but you must be quiet now, Bob. Charles, you must now be quiet. I'm going to talk. Nobody touch the buzzer.
Countdown clock, maybe. That'd be fun.
That would be fun. There's one I've been looking at getting for my class. So I'll have one.
That's very cool. Now, what are the different types of collaborations?
Well, I think what we talked about one, like with your caffeination, something where it's a one shot.
Very short term.
Very short term, down and dirty. If you're like, let's say you're Taco Bell Dreams. Okay. They're going to call that a collab. And what it really is a sponsorship because they're going to be paying you more than likely, or they're doing something in kind. It's going to have to be tagged in whatever content you create with sponsored, paid ad. It's going to have all the FTC things done to it. So people will call that a collab with Taco Bell. It's not. That's a sponsorship. That's a paid ad. So if there's ever money exchanging hands, there's definitely a contract. You may be collaborating on the content that goes into that, but I don't call that a collab. I see collabs as between content creators and between people, between artists. Like there's a podcast that one of our friends is editing right now, and they have basically a collaboration between the editors, the person writing the score, the person scripting it, as well as the people putting together like the artwork and stuff that go with it. So that's a collaboration where that's for this project, they are working together.
And we're working on that paperwork ourselves.
Yes.
But we're going beyond collaboration. We've collaborated often, but we're going, I think first we're getting collaboration papers. That I do believe we're going to move into incorporating a business
probably
kind of agreement.
Yeah.
Is where I think we both see this going. And so, there is trust only goes so far.
Oh yeah, well,
And
and just you should. You never know what's going to
yeah,
happen. Like I could drop dead tomorrow. He could drop dead tomorrow. And then our families have to have the discussion about who owns the IP instead of that already being written down.
okay. You're correct. You are correct. Except in a realistic world, Shane and Aaron were like, we don't know crap about this. Maybe somebody in the disc. Maybe I'll call Aaron. Will go. I'll call Phil. He'll figure it out. And Shane will go. I'll call Joe. Between Phil and Joe, they will disseminate
Our stuff.
our stuff because
So
we're
there we
not
go.
dead. Yeah. So, but yes, even with the giant size team up network, because of the
Oh yeah.
potential of profit and the control I wanted to have over it, we had paperwork across the board for shows, for hosts, expected behavior. I had 3 partners in that. I didn't really. They were just partners in name. I had 1 partner in that, and he's still around. And that's Phil. But I did all of it. But
And
we still had
that
paperwork for everything.
and that frequently happens a lot with podcast and with live streams is that if there's a group doing it, it's very rare, and this is sort of true with bands too many times, that everybody is doing equally as much.
Yeah.
Like some podcasts everybody's doing their share, but most of them somebody's paying for it. Somebody's doing the editing, somebody's doing almost all of that work and the other people are not doing it diddly squid. They're not
Yeah.
even reposting on their timelines. So and that really comes down to you need to have a conversation of, by the way, I own this IP because I'm the one who's been doing the things. Pony up if you want to own it with us.
Yeah, and I've intentionally used that as an out. I mean, like I've used it to have as an out.
Me too.
And I had a lot of talk. I was firing a partner. Basically, I was just breaking up the whole relationship with Giant Size Team Up and breaking the panel. And he started to say something about how he contributes. Like, no, sir. According to the U.S. government, I have paid for everything and filed taxes on every part of it for the last 3 years. You legally have nothing at all. And there's no money to get, but he's trying to save face or something. I was like,
Right.
let's not have that conversation because you haven't paid a dime on anything. But I did intentionally because I have the money and I like to know that I have that control to
Me
a certain
too.
point.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah. So, all right. So short, long, and project based. Out of those 3, what's kind of your favorite?
I've written 2 books with co-authors, so I like bigger collaborations. And part of the reason why I like collaborations is it makes sure I do what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I can let myself down, like, no problem, but it's harder for me to let somebody else down. So, for me to be collaborating with somebody, partnering with somebody, writing with somebody, that means that I need to give them, like, if we're trading back chapters in a book like Sherry and I did for Penduli Station, it's important that I have my chapter done when she needs to get the chapter so she can write the next one. So for
Yeah.
me, I love long-term collaborations in that sense because it helps me regulate my executive dysfunction, or as we would say. Executive function is what it should be. It's definitely dysfunction with ADHD. And it helps me be able to get things done. So I'm much better with collaborations that are like that because I'm less likely to let somebody else down, more likely to let myself down.
Yeah. No, I get you on that. I do not care to. I don't want to collab on a show, honestly. I want a partner on a show. That's where I've been at in life for the last few years. Is and by that I mean, I think you and I partner very well together. I think it's a balance in what we're doing.
As Shane says, we're like polar opposites, and somehow we fill in the gaps.
I like it. I like it. That's funny. That's very true. But because I've collaborated on some shows, so for me that'd be the long-term project. It's not worth my time and energy unless we have a known start and stop date. Like we know that we're gonna build this. Like
Right.
a one season. This is something I'm making up because it'd be a fun idea. But a one season run of like me and Steven Adams, double interviewing our favorite creators in the world that we can get our hands on, and we're going to do 6 episodes, 7 episodes.
And
Cool.
that, yeah.
We never intended for this to be a show. It is a project. That I love. Short term, love caffeinations. I did the same
Yeah.
thing with That's Easy Advice to Give. When I was going under that label for a
I
little bit,
remember
I
those.
would grab somebody like yourself and say, hey, can you give me something advice that's easy to give but hard to live? And it almost always triggered something out of somebody. And I do little TikTok videos like that. Those I like short. I like project. Long term collaboration. I don't even know what that is. You know, it's almost like polyamory. It's like I barely have enough time and space for my one wife. I can't do no. Thank you.
2 would break you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and I think that that's kind of like with Bat. This is a long-term project, and so we're
Yeah.
still trying to figure out how not to be giant size team up network,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
have cacophony. We're trying to figure out what's the right collaborators to bring in, what types of controls, what types of rails we need, what's the end game goal, what are we looking to
Yeah.
do,
And I
you
guess I
know?
could see a long term collaboration in that format of oh, this person, and it could be anybody. It could
Right.
Shane Burton is going to come in and teach a one off class or video series on how to XYZ. And
Right.
cool, we collaborated with them. That means we paid them for their time, gave them some kind of limited
Or
benefits.
or there's some type of transaction happening,
Yeah, some kind of transaction, right? 'Cause
even if it's
value for
bartering.
value. I'm not going to let you
Right.
just come and give something for free in my community. That's not going to happen. You've
Right.
got to get value out of it. And exposure is what gets you arrested in New York City, man. It's
It'll get you arrested everywhere, huh?
yeah. That's I hate.
Keep the clothes on.
Yeah, and keep your newsletter to yourself. I need to get paid for what I'm doing, and so some kind of transaction. Not well. My audience of 50,000. Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. Not good enough.
Oh, oh, I have to say something. My student groups put together their own sort of brands, but they come up with these concepts and they promote them on social media and create content. One of them has over 300,000 views on TikTok right now.
Wow.
I know. I'm super proud. I'm like, did
Good
you
for
know it was going to
them.
go viral? And they said, no, we never would have thought this one would have gone viral. And I'm like, see, remember that. You never ever, you can't predict what people are going to latch onto.
No.
And same with collabs. Some collabs are going to take off and do great. And some collabs, like it could be like both of you have really good networks. It seems like the best fit and it just falls flat.
Yeah.
And so that can happen. So you just kind of have to realize
Oh.
and understand what each party's getting. What was the ooh for?
So well, not kind of, truly, until I reach another level. I'm in a long-term collaboration with Dragon Con. Quite literally every year. I would know if they're going to ask me back because
Right.
there's conversations. There's the difficult conversations of here's our expectations. You're not meeting them. Here's what we expect out of you. So until that happens, I don't worry about it. But technically speaking, I don't know that I'm going to be involved next year until I get that letter or that
Right.
email, or this year was a phone call. I expect it because we've been doing this for 6, 7, 8 years now together with Regina and Rachel and Mandy and everybody. But that is a collaboration because at any point in time I can go, I need to step back, I'm out, and there's no ramifications. And same
Right.
is to be said that if they go, Charles, you let Botch throw 5 things from the stage and they hit people and they hurt people and you didn't stop it, you're out. There's no ramifications. So that is a
Right.
long-term collaboration. And we do that even with the guests. The celebrity guests
It's
come
true.
in. And I can say that we do not pay for guests. We do compensation, but why I say pay? There's cons that will guarantee you, Tyra Burton, if you come here to us, you will make $45,000 or whatever.
Yeah, no.
We don't do that. So we are collaborating with our guests. Now, is there an exchange? Yeah, of course. You've heard the stories of somebody flying on a plane with the lady who played Uhura. I lost her name just off the top of my head.
Nichelle Nichols.
Yes. Because they're both coming to Dragon Con. They just happen to sit next to each other. So, yeah, we flew Nichelle Nichols out. right?
Oh yeah.
We put her up for a hotel room. All the things that you would expect from any con. So there's definitely a value for value, and they have opportunities to make finances, but that's a long-term collaboration.
I think that's
Short-term
actually.
collaboration.
I
Sorry.
think that's actually a contract.
There are contracts. There are, yes.
Right. I think if they're doing like if maybe they're doing the costume contest or they're emceeing that, or if they're in some way actually collaborating with Dragon
Okay.
Con on something where they're working together to create something, then that to me is a collaboration. I think most of the guests that come to
Okay.
Dragon Con are actually it's a contractual agreement. You're going to come to Dragon Con, you're going to be available at these times. We're going to pay your airfare, your hotel, and a per diem for you to do this. So to me, that's more of a contract. But if they're doing like they're putting on a show at Dragon Con, where Dragon Con is having some like there's some back and forth there of what's going to happen, then that's a collaboration.
Okay.
Like, did you see the tiki ceramic mugs they had this year?
Yes.
Okay, that's a collaboration because it was Dragon Con, and I cannot remember the man who does the tiki things, but he does. That's his thing is he makes glassware or ceramic ware.
Okay, so it's like when they get their own scotch, which they got this year, and I still have.
Yeah, that's a collaboration because it's both of them working together. To be honest, the scotch might actually be a license.
All right. Well, we're getting a little off there, so let's get
There's
back
a lot
to
of legal stuff I'm talking about. So,
and that brings up the point.
Yes.
We are consultants, if you will. We are coaches. But when you really get into it, you need to consult
Get a
the
lawyer.
professionals. Yeah, a lawyer at bare minimum to look over something and make sure that what you're getting into is on point.
Yeah.
But what makes for a good collaborator?
Oh, somebody that communicates well. Communication, I think, is the be all end all of most of life. Somebody who listens. So I think Diva said something about sometimes he learns more from listening to what others. You want a collaborator who's going to listen to you, and you also listen to them, so that you fully understand where each other is coming from. And in terms of like a marketing point of view, you want a collaborator that has a similar target market or a target market that would be interested in your stuff to expand to. There needs to be some intersection of your people. Otherwise, why are you collaborating?
Yeah. Yeah. Like Jay-Z and Linkin Park did one of the best albums I've ever heard, where they did mashups together, but they went and re-recorded them in the studio together, and they had one show live. And it's because Linkin Park had been putting out to their fans, who should we collab with? And that was the biggest answer. And his songs, beat-wise and everything else, it fit. And it's just, by collaborating, they essentially took two songs that were well-known, didn't do like a DJ does, which is mash them up, which is great, but actually made something new by coming together in the studio, recording fresh over the tracks together, and then again performing. Magic can happen there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there were, I mean, you don't put two artists on that level together without having all kinds of paperwork, because they put out a movie about it, because I watched the crap out of it and cried a lot because it was so beautiful. And they put out a double CD set, which I bought. Now it's probably on Spotify. So there's we both created it. How do you split the royalties? How do you split this? How do you do that?
All
Who
that's
owns
going to
this
be in
cost?
that contract.
So yeah, but the artists themselves, that was collaborating, and they did really well together.
It just has a contract behind it, which a lot of collaborations do, especially if they're complicated like that one. If there's a lot of money streams coming in, there's going to be a contract.
Now, the ones without contracts, say like the panels, the Awesome Women of Digital Media panel at Dragon Con. So a little behind baseball that's one of the ones I call it an institutional panel. It's one of the ones that I always want on the track no matter what, and all the faces can change. If for some reason, Tyra's been the host for the last couple of years.
Nope, I took a break.
Did you? Okay.
Kelsey Bites did it for a couple of years, or Chelsea Bites.
It's been we've had Chelsea do it. We've had Kidiosaurus.
Yes,
you've done it a few times. I want to say there was somebody, Jenna Garrett, I think I had do it once.
Yes, it was Jenna.
So yeah, it's faces can change, but the panel's going to be there. But that collaboration of I do try to get a moderator to agree, and let's say this coming year it'll be you, and then you get a lot of say in it. But the collaboration starts between you and me of going, this is the direction of the panel.
Yeah.
So we create that direction first, and then I help you find the people, and you suggest people, and then it goes to the panel. So for those who are just sitting on the panel, what kind of collaboration level is that for them? How's that work out?
Not a lot. I mean, but the good thing about our track, which I say is different than other tracks, is that we have Discord where we set up panel rooms. So it's very likely that we could talk in those panel rooms and have a good idea about what we're going to ask. I know on other panels where I know that the people are on Discord, I'll say, hey, here's what I'm thinking of for kind of our run of show for the panel. What do you guys want to talk about that's not on here? What should I take out? What other ideas do you have? For the Awesome Women panel, oftentimes I have no contact with them until we're in the room because they're not on our Discord. There were a couple that were on our Discord but were not active. One that wasn't on our Discord. But what I will say is that in the midst of doing the panel, particularly that one, everybody is so supportive of each other. Because there's kind of like this sense of built-in community where we all have faced some of the same things, some of us more, some of us less, in terms of being a woman in digital media. Because our experience is different than Charles's experience in digital media. And there's just like that common bond that binds us. And usually what's interesting is that magically we have a panel of people that come with different perspectives. So like Earth Station Boo was on there and she was like our anchor. She was like our calmness, our voice of sanity on there. And that was beautiful. And I didn't expect that. And I was really grateful she was there. So for that panel, it's, Tyra shows up, knows who everybody is, has a good idea about their art or their whatever it is that they do so that I can ask questions. And then it's let the universe take the flow.
But wouldn't you say, at least in the lightest level, the co-creation together of the content, right? They're answering the questions, bouncing new questions, interacting with each other. That is a baseline collaboration.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, and if we took that and did something like the fact that video exists over on YouTube, that's an example of our collaboration. And everybody who does a panel at the digital media track has the potential to be on our YouTube unless it's rated, what. And so they know there's that possibility that this collaboration is going to keep going. Why are you laughing at me?
Because I get the greatest ideas when you say the flippant thing sometimes. This year, we're not going to call it After Dark. We're going to call it Rated UKW. You know what? Or YKW, you know what? Yeah, so it's going to be rated you know what for all the After Dark stuff.
No kids.
Yeah.
But you can say the F word.
Oh, maybe it's rated FTK, F them kids.
Oh, we're good. This is all him. We're going to let Charles get in trouble.
So, all right.
Okay,
sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's okay. I'm
we do
that,
put
Charles.
people out there and create content for people. But another more deeper thing was Shark Tank, right?
Yes.
It is almost a random. It's not random, but it's never the same people. Is the way it works out.
Well, except
it's just yeah, because he picked up the mantle. We put it on one year, and I ran it. And I guess Steven liked it so much he asked about it because I don't think I ran it after that year. I think Steven has been championing. And sometimes it's a championing the cause. Like Chelsea Bites, for the longest time, didn't quite realize that the digital media, the Awesome Women digital media is whatever I called it before. It's part of it's institutional. It's an institutional track. So she would just make sure she would put it in the list every year. She's like, look, I don't have to be on it. I have to moderate it, but you need to have this panel. And so she made sure to put in that baseline work of it's getting on the radar. So I love champions of things, but even then Steven just kind of shows up and corrals people. I put together the tank themselves based on their backgrounds, and then they meet each other.
And you
maybe
just do
15
it.
minutes before the panel, and
Yeah.
they do it. And the advice that comes out of that is very Shark Tanky. I mean, it's very, and in the sense of just different walks of life and different viewpoints, giving advice on. We always intended it to be a show, like pitch us your
Right.
podcast idea, but some people actually bring business ideas and book
Yeah,
ideas.
they do. True.
And it does what it does. But what about, Tyra, what's been one of your best collaborations at a con? And Be Awesome
Oh.
Together is excluded.
Okay, no, Be Awesome Together.
No Be Awesome Together.
Oh, I don't know. I've done so many cons. Oh my gosh. I will
Let's
say
say,
that my best collaborations were, I think, in terms of like when I would do more workshops or panel like things, were with my co-author Jana Oliver, because we very much, like you and I, bounce off of each other really well. And I think that really the best collaborations are ones where there's some type of charismatic connection, however that works. So Jana and I do that really well. We have a very different sense of humors, but they play off of each other really well. So we're funny. We both know our shit, which helps a lot. I would say anytime I'm on a panel with Bob Magoo, it's always good. I feel like there's always good energy. I love being on a panel with Clint. Clint Hall always is prepared, always has a ton of notes, and knows how to make sure people, all types of people, are involved on the panel. Because that's really one of the things. If you're moderating a panel, your point in that collaboration is to make sure that everybody has a moment that gets their chance to talk, that is not excluded. And that can be hard. Like, I would say one of the panelists we had on our marketing panel this past weekend had tons of knowledge, but was a little quieter.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
had to ask directly a lot of times. And that's what you do when you're a moderator in that collaboration, making sure that everybody's voice is heard.
I like to think I collaborate with the celebrities when I moderate celebrities, because it's not just, hey, does anybody have questions? And I don't just read out rote questions. I actually conversate with them in the direction of to get them to, I pull out a story and get
Right.
them to tell a story that perhaps they haven't told somewhere else. Now, it says here, one of the important things of being a part of a collaboration is following up. What do we mean by following up?
So, answer emails. Sometimes Tyra's not the best at, but figure out how you're going to communicate and follow up on those things and follow up on the ideas. So, like one of the people that I connected with at this con, she knew that I knew that she was going to be busy on Sunday. She knew my Monday was crazy, so she texted me today and was like, "Okay, when can we get together?" So make those follow ups as soon as you possibly can. Like I texted Bob on Sunday about SendFox because I wanted to follow up with him about this email that we've learned about. So follow up ASAP. And if you meet somebody at a con, give it that day and then send them something, and always remind people where you met. And if you're in a collaboration and let's say something happens, like this happened with Charles and I got very, very sick at Multiverse. And I could not do the show that Monday. And Charles went and found Elaine and brought her in and did some stuff to take my place, which was fine. But he's like, okay, she can't be here. Let's figure this out. Let me do this. And I think that's what a good collaboration does. If you can't fulfill what you're supposed to, make sure you warn the person as soon as you can.
I get that. Also, it is reporting results. So
Yes.
I
Yes.
no longer work for a school, but I do collaborate with them on projects. And I totally forgot to tell the guy, the Tom. I forgot to tell Tom that I completed a few things. And so we're in some kind of generic meeting. And he's like, yeah, Charles is working on this. Like, oh, yeah, no, I got that. Sorry. Yeah, I'll update you. My bad. I need to. The meeting was not the important part of it. We're doing something
Right.
different. But he just was gently reminding me that I hadn't told him squat. So, like, you're right, sir. I just thought you were reading my mind. What's wrong with you, man? So, yeah, following up, just that community. Okay. Anytime we work with a con, that's a form of collaboration, right?
Yeah.
And I applied to Conuga this morning, and this afternoon I had to email back. Now they're in their crunch time, right? It is December 1st when it closes, and this thing fires off in February.
The 20th, that weekend.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's like third weekend, I think.
Which I'm glad that they understand they're in crunch time, because unfortunately there's some cons that I've worked with that their crunch time is 2 weeks before, and I'm going, you're way behind the 8 ball if you're still figuring out schedules 2 weeks before, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's not mine to run or solve. But yeah, so it was a very quick back and forth, and I got another email to answer after the show. But that kind of collaboration of how, and that's what I asked them. It's like, how?
What do you need?
How do we figure out where I'd fit best to meet your standards? Like, would you be willing to do 6 to 8 hours to get a free badge? I'm like, I'll do up to 5 panels a day, as will my partner Joe.
Right.
And they're like, oh my God, we'd love to get 15 hours each out of you, but we'll take 8 total between you. And I'm like, thank you, but let's see where it fits. And that's what we're always asking is multiverse. I kept coming from the wrong directions.
Yeah.
And finally got a handhold to get me into the right direction there. And now I understand why I was going wrong. Because collaborations have to fit. And that following up, sending those emails back, hey, did you get the schedule I sent you? Hey, do you need anything else from me? Those are important. Clear vision of how the collaboration works.
Yes.
Whoo, I have learned the hard way over multiple different times. That needs to be the key.
Yeah, because if you're not on the same page, like we're still futzing with what Be Awesome Together is going to be. We have I think a pretty decent view, but getting down into the nitty gritty of what it's about is like our next big thing that we have to do. And that's making sure that you and I have a similar vision so that when we bring people in to collaborate, we can accurately communicate that vision. Like what we're doing on the show has changed since we first started. Like when it was part of the digital track, it was something else. And then when we broke apart, we were kind of transitioning, and now we've kind of found our groove and our idea about what we want to do with the episodes. And so now I've got to go back and look at our PR stuff and rewrite some of it to change and reflect the growth of the show in terms of its content.
Our next bullet point is don't forget the legalities. And I will say it is when you're first in love, you're in pod love, right? You found somebody, you're excited to work on something with them. You jump right in and you do things. But even at the most basic of levels of like, who would care? Nobody's listening. You don't know where it'll go. You don't know what the next thing will hit. And you don't know how things will break up if they break up. And unfortunately, I've seen smaller shows that I would have been the first one, if I was in that show, to go, what are you talking about? This, we don't need paperwork. This doesn't matter. We're just talking. And they were breaking up, and it became ugly to the point of some lawsuits. And I don't think they really had a lot of income. It wasn't that kind of show yet. But, little things can happen. I'm realizing I need to get some paperwork in place to protect the people I care about. And so I'm starting a project with somebody who has a much larger, much more sizable audience than me, rather. And we need to get something in place about what we're doing, about how it doesn't relate to his other projects. And his other projects don't relate to this. And my other projects don't relate, so on and so forth. Just because you don't know. And I have had how do I phrase it? It wouldn't be the fortune. I've had an awesome moment of being able to see behind the scenes on some bigger level things of like TV negotiations for Netflix. And when you're working on something with somebody and a bigger thing gets picked up, well, does that mean our project goes away? Does that mean because you've been promoting your stuff that I have a claim? The one joke I make, well, it's not even a joke. I'm serious, and I hope he takes it serious. But with Dennis and like in Solomon's Odyssey, not only am I named executive producer, I think I'm the only there's producers on it. I think the only named executive producer. I'm in there putting in the time with promoting it and blood, sweat, and tears, and I'm actually putting money into it. I've said, when Netflix comes along, I get 10%. Yeah, I always say that's canon, man. That's canon. It's on the recordings. He just laughs, and I know he would take care of me. But when somebody else comes in, the first question they're going to ask, we want Tyra, not Charles. Why do we have to have Charles? Well, because I'm loyal to him. Well, you could pick Tyra, $10 million a year, or Charles. And I mean, I'd be the first one to go. 10 million, Tyra, go to 10 million. But
I'll find a way to take care of you, Charles.
Right. I mean, that's right. But I'm getting a little exaggerated here, but they can say we don't have any reason to include them, and you then can be faced with a choice. And funny enough, referring to Linkin Park, they had that choice when they were first being approached to be signed. They only wanted Chester, the singer. They didn't want the main heart of the band, which was the rap guy, which I should know his name, but I don't, and the other musicians. And Chester's like, no, this is all or nothing. And the label walked away. And that's what you face sometimes.
Yeah.
But they made it work, right? They knew what they had. But that's not always the case. And sometimes it's your book. Maybe you do a book, and for giggles, you have me write a chapter in it out of 20 chapters.
I'll have a contract for that and pay you
See, that
for
exactly. Because if you don't, and then
Yep.
it becomes a New York bestseller, where's my piece? Well, Charles, you only, and rightfully so, you'd say this. You only did a chapter, and it was a short one. It was the dumbest chapter in the book. Don't care. I did some work.
I'm gonna pay you for play, and that's it.
Fair enough.
Because there's two ways you can do that. You can do that. You get part of the royalties that I would get, or I can just pay you for it.
And the flip side, who owns the content? And I can go ahead and tell you, unless for some weird reason Tyra has a different idea, when we do the paperwork for Bat, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
We both own equal shares in this content because we've created it together. It would not be here if it weren't for the two of us.
Right.
Type of deal. No matter what came before. I mean, if my brain goes this, you want to argue, well, I was doing this other stuff first. Well, you could argue I've been doing 21 years of digital media and she came in the last 3 years. That's a moot point. This magic wouldn't happen if we hadn't worked together to do it. So definitely remember your legalities. And not all collabs are meant to last. So this is the final episode of Bat. We wanted to surprise you guys. No.
We're so sorry, our station boo, who's back to learn we're going away. I'm just joking.
They have corrupted Tyra. There was a time, there was a time not that long ago, Tyra wouldn't even be able to think about joking. She'd have been just saying, Charles, and then
I know. You bring out the worst in me.
A little bit.
You bring out the worst in me.
The most chaotic. Chaotic neutral is where I live. So, but what do you mean? What unperfect timing says your station move?
Oh, that was awesome.
But as we're wrapping up the show,
yes.
What collab? How's that look? Not all collabs are meant to last.
I'm sorry.
All right, I'll answer it. She's allergic to
I
me.
blame Devo's site and Earth Station Boo because they made me laugh, and then
Very
I
good.
coughed. Anyway, what did you ask me, Charles?
About collabs that are not meant to last.
Oh, yeah, sometimes they don't. And it could be for a variety of reasons. It could be because somebody is, like, they've had a life change. They've had a kid. They got married. They became they had something that changed their life, which changed how much time they had to devote to things outside of those basic things to just get you through life. And, oh, I love you, Diva side. Anyway, but, so that can happen. Sometimes you'd move in different directions and you realize that you don't have the same vision, and that just has to go away. And Devo site picks me.
Yeah. That was my project with Brian. Brian Ibbett and I worked on 3 different projects together. Loved every second of it. He will pick up my phone call right now if I call him. Same. I know if we had the opportunity, we'd love to work on something together again, but our time has ended for now. It makes me sad sometimes because I worked with him in a different way than I work with anybody else, and I think he could say the same. And it hurt. I get it. I get it. I don't fit. Because I'm an overpowering personality, and it doesn't suit. But that America's Next Top Podcaster, I tried for a while to be a part of it. Abbott flat out just pushed. He's like, man, why am I not a judge on the show? He's like, he just had to say it just doesn't fit. And I listened, and he's right, but still, I want to play. And so, yeah, not all collabs are meant to happen.
You could be a guest judge.
I tried that angle. He didn't
work.
And I get it too because all my
They'd
stuff.
have to have a buzzer.
Yeah, well, my coaching would be about storytelling, and they don't really hit that in that contest. It's no negatives. I listen to Smartless, a celebrity podcast. And I cannot tell you that besides some of the in jokes that happen a lot, which is fun, the biggest thing I hear everybody, their guests are always celebrities. Everybody always say, man, we've never worked together. Let's find a project sometime.
Yeah.
And sometimes these celebrities who do love each other and really admire the work of each other will never work on something together because that's just how it works sometimes. So, that is all of that. I learned some stuff about collaboration tonight because I thought I knew some different things, and you educated me.
Hey, I always like it when I educate you.
And I always like it that everybody picks my partners instead of me. It's like, no, you can take them because I take everything else. It's in the prenup. I take everything else.
There is no prenup.
Including all of my listeners' souls.
So, see, this is why they don't pick you. Their souls are safe with me. With you, questionable.
I don't know. I heard something about magic sugar scrubs. I'm like, that sounds like it's the devil. So
no. Okay, so if you ever are feeling like you need a pickup, you can take some sugar and a little bit of olive oil or whatever you got, and use it as a body scrub, and just talk about how sweet you are and how everybody's gonna love you while you're scrubbing. It'll be good. It's just a little bit of happiness.
I'll have to show you that after the show. Yes. So the takeaways. Even though I didn't say this, I think this is a very important takeaway for collaborations. We hit on a whole lot of points.
We did.
We can rehash some of it. Before I go on, what's the takeaway you have?
No, you started this. You go first.
All right, fine. You have to bring you to the table. Not what you think would work well with somebody else. Not what you think they want. That's been the hardest lesson I've had to learn, even in jobs and everything. For me, everything's basically a form of collaboration or a form of relationship or whatever. My wife didn't want to get married to me because I did what she wanted or I made her life easier or I was like her. I balanced what she needed in life. Same with good jobs. With collaborations, you have to bring you to the table. Sometimes having that conversation ahead of time, going, well, is this show or this project or this thing going to be rated R? Where do we draw a line?
Oh, yeah. He won't let me say the F word.
Yeah, because we like this to go down to as general an audience as we can here. Yeah. But that if you catch us on any panel with Bob, there's a good chance the F word's coming out.
You too.
But that's bring yourself in any collaboration. If they don't want it, it wasn't a good fit, it's fine. It's not personal. I would be a horrible fit for most churches out there. But I promise you there's a few that would just eat up everything I had to say. But that would be far and few between. But I'm always going to bring myself to the table.
Yeah,
or I'm going to try to. There you go. What's your takeaway?
Yeah. So, again, we didn't really talk about that, and that's, I think, a great takeaway. The other takeaway that I'm going to say we didn't talk about. Know when to say yes and know when to say no.
Ooh, yeah.
And know how much you're having to commit time-wise into a collaboration so that you know if that fits in your life. So it has to start there. I once listened to a podcast from the Social Media Explorer that the guy said, anytime you take on a new project, you need to get rid of 2 that you're already doing. Because you have to make enough time to start that collaboration or start that project. So I think being mindful of boundaries, your time, and knowing when to say yes and when to say no. And sometimes the collaboration is so good, you break your boundaries and say, yes, I'm going to do this. I know that this means I'm sleeping less and I'm going to be doing more work than I want to do, but this is important to me.
You know, and sometimes you can say no, and it still works out. And that's how I started the collaboration with Brian Ibbett. He had said yes because he loved the idea, he loved my energy, enthusiasm, and then I was pushing for a schedule, and we just couldn't line it up. I just went ahead and recorded one episode alone, and just put all my energy into it, everything else, and I sent it to him. I did a second episode. I didn't publish any of them yet at that time. By the time I sent him the second one, he goes, "All right, damn it, I'm in. This sounds like too much fun." And we did 3 years on that project together. But you're right. You have to give something else up, and balance is to be had. So since we've surfed a whole lot of chaos, and I definitely enjoyed the ride, we're going to tell everybody where they can find everything. And the first thing I definitely want to hammer home, those of you listening, those of you that come out live, bring your friends. Share with everybody.
Go to Patreon.
I was getting there.
I'm sorry. I was impatient.
Patreon.com/WiseandNerd. No, that's the wrong one. Sorry.
Charles!
Patreon.com/BeAwesomeTogether.
Jesus.
I was editing a whole bunch of Wise and Nerdy today, and I was editing the commercials, which were go to Patreon. So
I am not Joe Ard. Joe_Ard. I am not that. So get. I mean, I am the only female that you consistently collaborate with. Could you figure this out?
Joe has some female tendencies.
Not what I said.
Not what you said at all. No, Patreon.com/BeAwesomeTogether. Right now it's 100% free. We are working on things to provide value, and when we provide more value, we'll ask for value in return. But share. The biggest thing, I mean, I'm telling you, it's I go back to my childhood days in church. It's Roundup Sunday. It's Bring a Friend Sunday. It's if you love what we're doing, and I think you do because you're showing up all the time and you're downloading all the time, we can help more by getting more feedback in, by people asking questions. And we honestly do not care unless it was answered last week, we'll go, okay, look, we just answered that last week. If it was 2 weeks ago, we won't remember that it was 2 weeks ago. We'll answer it again.
We're old. We don't remember things.
And you never know. I think together, you and I have probably done a version of BAT 5 or 6 times live, and we've probably had some of the same questions, and we answer it differently every time something new comes out. So bring the people. Let's get eyes on. Thank you for everybody who's signed up for Facebook because we're streaming there.
Yay!
Thank you for following on Twitch. Thank you for following on YouTube. Let's get the fam out. Get everybody out. We're going to make the world a better place by creating it, and you start by creating together and being awesome together. So Tyra, where can they find you?
They can find me, as all of you already know, at tyraburton.com, but I have a new slogan.
Oh.
Give your students extra. No, Diva said I actually don't want my students to watch. Anyway, I actually do. I'm changing a little bit over my website over the last part of this year. There's going to be a newsletter coming out from Tyra Burton. And I've always been where geek meets social because I think that really defines a lot of what I am. I'm a geek. I'm very much into social, whether that's talking to people in person or digital media and online. But now it's going to be geek meets social, where compassion finds expression. Because my husband and I had a little bit of a talk, and I asked him, like, what do you think is like the thing that's Tyra? And he said, well, you're the most compassionate person I know, which made me cry. And I really sat down and started thinking that compassion is actually the thread that weaves through everything that I do, whether that's writing about social media or writing about being a teacher or writing about my parents or writing my fiction. And that compassion and kindness are themes that weave through all of those. So that's a little change for the Tyra that I shared it a little bit at Conjuration, but not completely. So
no, that's awesome.
Where compassion finds expression.
That's amazing. Devo says buy views. No, but we're in a champion. Be a cult. Let's be the cult of awesomeness.
Cult.
And get followers. That's bring people into the cult of awesome. And it'll be great. You can find me at charlesmcfall.com, which needs to be revamped. I have no idea when that's going to happen. And, of course, Linktree has all the most active everything. So it's Linktree/RGOP42. And we'll be catching some conventions live next year as soon as we know some of our schedule. We'll be putting that out. And next week, we are talking about gratitude.
Oh, thank you for remembering. Oh, yes,
So,
it's Thanksgiving.
Devo has already called in some gratitude stuff. What we're asking, and you can email us, and that is beawesometogether@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Or if you'd like your voice on the show, because we like your voice on the show.
We'd love your voice on the show.
You can go to, I have it here. Let me find all my different links.
It's actually Wise and Nerdy's phone, but we're using it to drive Joe crazy.
Apparently, it's not linked in here, but it's wiseandnerdy.com/calldad. And that is a nice little tool called SpeakPipe that you can, just from any device that touches the internet and has a microphone, you can leave up to 90 seconds of what brings you gratitude in your life, what makes you grateful, and or the type of gratitude that really lights your fire, right? Makes you happy, makes you feel all warm and fuzzy. So that's coming up next week. So go ahead and get your calls in, get your emails in, and we will be grateful for at least the one that we know we already get.
Yes.
So
more people.
Yeah. Let's go out and be awesome together. And I agree. I think the more your students surf the chaos, we'll all enjoy the ride, Tyra. See yous next week.
Bye, Charles.